The Atlanta Hawks have just sent a very serious message. And this message was so serious that number one, not a lot of people are talking about it. But number two, it kind of went underneath the radar of the media. And in this video, I'm going to break down what this message is, how can it impact the Atlanta Hawks going forward, and what I think the Atlanta Hawks are truly going to do in the near and immediate future. Now, this message, I will say this, relates to the February 9th trade deadline, where a lot of teams are putting their squads together and trying to figure out how they can make their roster better. And a lot of media and experts believe that the Atlanta Hawks are kind of staying packed. There hasn't been any news about who they're going to trade for. There really hasn't been any rumors. And to that, I would say, you almost got me. But these two moves show me that the Atlanta Hawks are not only a big buyer during the trade deadline, but will make a big move happen in the near future. Now, these two moves that the Atlanta Hawks have made, number one, they have essentially benched Clint Capella. Now, not even casual, a lot of Hawks fans know that's a big move because Clint Capella has not been on the bench since he's come to the Atlanta Hawks. The second move, the really discreet move that no one's really talking about, is Quinn Snyder is playing Bogdan Bogdanovic less and less and less. Now, let me first unpack the Bogdan Bogdanovic thing. Bogdan Bogdanovic, on average, as an Atlanta Hawk, plays about 29.4 minutes, give or take, over his career with the Atlanta Hawks. We'll break down this season. This season, he's playing 24.9 minutes per game. That is a 5-minute per game deduction for a player that is supposed to be a major contributor to this team. Now, let me break it down a little bit further. Over his last 10 games, Bogdan Bogdanovic has averaged 24.3 minutes per game. So he's down on the season in the last 10 games. And I want to read you a very alarming stat. Over his last 5 games, he has played 22.4 minutes per game. That is down 7 minutes from his career average with the Atlanta Hawks. Now, a lot of people out there may say this means nothing. But to me, this means not only is Quinn Snyder figuring out ways to win without Bogdan Bogdanovic, but this could be a signal that, hey, take it easy on him. We want to make sure he's healthy because he's a trade asset going forward. I also want to highlight the Atlanta Hawks are 3-4 over, are they 3-4? 3-1, maybe 4-1 or 3-2 over the last 5 games that Bogdan Bogdanovic has played 22 minutes, which signals to me they really don't need him. That's all I'm saying. Now, going forward, moving to the Clint Capella thing. Clint Capella has officially been benched. This means, and this signals to me, Onyeka Okongwu is now given a chance to be the star center that a lot of people hoped. This was a 3 to 4 year project, and many people were going back and forth who they should start. But Quinn Snyder and the Atlanta Hawks GM and organization said, look, we need Onyeka starting. To me, this signals it's time for him. We got to get rid of Clint Capella. Clint Capella is on an expiring contract. Also, Clint Capella is due $22 million a year, and Clint Capella has some trade value. All of this can tell you that there will be a trade that will happen for Clint Capella, especially after the big move of moving Onyeka Okongwu to the starting lineup. I think since Onyeka Okongwu has started, I think the Hawks are 3-1, maybe 4-1, so it's working. So this signals to me, hey, a change is on the way. These two moves, Onyeka Okongwu and Bogdan Bogdanovic, not only playing less minutes, but moving out of the primary rotations, are obvious to me. And the further we go along, the more we'll see their names linked to some trade rumors in the future. Now, also, I want to tell you, where could these two players go and what could the Atlanta Hawks get back in return? Like I said, these two packaged together could get a lot of good returns, or if you want to break them down individually, they can get good returns. But there's one trade that I've put together that looks very, very beneficial for both parties. And that is the Atlanta Hawks trading Bogdan Bogdanovic and Clint Capella to the Utah Jazz. Now, why would this happen? Why would Utah do this? And what does this mean going forward for the Atlanta Hawks? Now, the trade is, like I mentioned, Clint Capella, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and a first to the Utah Jazz for who? Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson, and Kyle Filipowski. What does this do for the Atlanta Hawks? Number one, it gives them immediate scoring. It gives them a very, very, very good backup point guard who could play some two-guard sets along with Trae Young. He's a great defender. He is a great rim runner, and he can initiate the offense with the second team. Also, you're bringing in Jordan Clarkson, that is immediate scoring, a guy that can get hot and drop 30 points a game. Now, how will this fit for the Atlanta Hawks? The Atlanta Hawks need these type of players. They need a backup point guard, and they need a player that can get it going and make tough and difficult shots. That's something that they don't have on their roster currently. They have very, very, very good wings. And I don't think the Atlanta Hawks should invest in wings. They need to find a backup point guard who can initiate the offense with the second unit and a guy who can score the ball. And Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton does that for you. Also, you're throwing in Kyle Filipowski. I was watching him the other day play the Hawks. He's actually a pretty good center. He can be a backup for Onyeka Okongwu. This also thrusts Onyeka Okongwu in the starting minutes and basically says, Onyeka, you are our guy. Don't worry about it. We have this backup for backup minutes. Now, why would the Jazz do this? Number one, you get a shooter in Bogdan Bogdanovic who can help elevate your team. We've seen what Lauri Markkanen can do. We've seen what multiple players on your squad can do. That shooter is what you guys need, and Bogdan Bogdanovic can be that guy for you. Two, they get Clint Capella, a good center, who they could extend going forward, but don't have to extend. They get an expiring contract that allows them to build for the future, and then they also get a first-round pick. This first-round pick comes from Sacramento, which is looking like to be a first-round pick. They can rebuild for the future and go from there. Win, 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 win. And I think that this trade will not only help the Atlanta Hawks and the Utah Jazz, but propel the Atlanta Hawks to championship contention. Because can you imagine Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels? Oh, but don't forget, you got who coming off the bench? Don't forget, you got Colin Sexton, Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench. Also got Kyle Filipowski who can play backup center. That is a winning roster, and you don't give up too much at all. You give up Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's been regressing lately, and you give up Clint Capella, a guy that's with an expiring contract. Now, really quickly, these two moves aren't in the main media, and these two moves to me are signaling something big is going to happen. So if you can, do me a favor, get your popcorn and get ready, because the Hawks are making a big move, and once they do, you're going to come back to this channel and be like, that guy was right. But if you agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about this whole situation. And if you want to see more content like this, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And like always, peace.